Welcome to Catholic Views, where we get to know the faith and those who live it. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. We get a full dose of Dr. Chris Bergwald today. Woot woot.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Wow.
We have Dr. Chris Bergwald on all half hour today. We are going to have Biblical Bites with Dr. B first, of course. And then we're going to talk about something that sometimes is referred to as moral bracketing.
What?
What? What's that? It's something we sometimes do. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe we've all done it at one time or another to some extent, in a way. Because moral bracketing is a very specific thing, but there's kind of a way we all do it.
Sure.
So that's why we're talking about it. That sounds boring. It's not boring, I swear. Sometimes when I describe something, I'm like, who would want to listen to that? It's good, I promise. So, Chris, let's do some Biblical Bites first.
Okay, we'll do. Renee. Merry Christmas.
So Merry Christmas. So right before we started recording, I was sitting here thinking, what Sunday is this? Because, of course, that's always the question. The first Sunday of Christmas?
So it is the first Sunday of Christmas, but Ben was...
There's some other name. What?
Yeah, so other than when...
Yuletide. No.
Other than when Christmas falls in a Sunday, the first Sunday after Christmas is a feast. The Feast of the Holy...
the Holy Family.
Yep.
That's right.
And that's not the Bergwalds or the Kranzes.
Right.
Hopefully one day could be, but it's the Feast of the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
That's why it sounded weird. I was like, there is no first or second Sunday of Christmas. It's definitely
well,
not it.
we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
The first Sunday after Christmas, unless Christmas itself falls on a Sunday, is the Feast of the Holy Family. The little thing, when Christmas falls on a Sunday, that means the following Sunday is the 1st of January.
Oh, sure, of course.
What happens then is the Feast of the Holy Family gets transferred back 2 days to the Friday the 29th.
Oh, okay.
So we still celebrate the Feast of the Holy Family even in those occasions, but not on the Sunday after Christmas because
that makes sense.
The week after Christmas. Sorry, not the Make sense?
Yes. So then, when Christmas is not on a Sunday? So that means New Year's is not on a Sunday. What's the second Sunday after Christmas?
Epiphany.
And that seems so fast.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, I know. Now I cheated.
Yeah, you did. That was very sly of you.
It's me.
So tune in next week, and Renee will suddenly know everything.
I don't want to look stupid 2 Sundays in a row.
So that was a very sly way of finding out what next week
So
is.
it was an honest question.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So the gospel, we're in year C. The gospel for year C, of course, as you know, because Luke, you did not remember or forget. I mean,
No.
What we read about. So, Renee, what do you think the church proposes for our consideration from Luke's gospel? We're here in the Christmas season. What do you think the gospel is? What do we hear about in the gospel for the Feast of the Holy Family?
Presentation at the temple?
Good guess, but no.
Or when they lose him.
Yes, you are correct. So this
Doesn't
is
seem right.
the finding of the child Jesus in the temple, as we call the 5th joyful mystery of the Rosary. So this is how the gospel reading begins. Luke chapter 2, verses 41 through 52. Starts this way, though. Each year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up according to festal custom. And then it talks about how they were there, and then they were on the way home. They realized, oh, we don't have Jesus. And they go back. And how long does it take for them to find him, Renee?
It's like 3 days or something.
3 days. What? Does that
kind of seems familiar?
Seems familiar? Yeah. There's a lot that we could unpack. I actually want to go back to the beginning of the gospel reading, though. Each year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the feast of Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up according to festival custom. There are, going back to Moses, 3 times when Jews were supposed to go to the tabernacle/temple.
Right.
3 high feasts. So a good Jew would always, and Passover is one of them. So a good Jew would always go to Passover go to Jerusalem for the Passover. So why do they go? Because Mary and Joseph are good Jews.
Right.
So they're called, they go and they participate in this custom. We see that Jesus repeatedly goes to Jerusalem at the time of Passover, at other times in the Gospels. The thing I want to focus, though, or to close with, at the end, so that we know the story, they found him. He went down with them and came to Nazareth, and he was obedient to them. And his mother kept all these things in her heart. Mary kept all these things in her heart. Mary pondered what had happened to her and Joseph as they were looking for Jesus. We should follow her example and ponder what Jesus does in our life as well.
Yeah, good stuff, Dr. B. Thank you.
You bet.